We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Look at there. It's our friend Deb. And look, that's me with my phone. Deb, tell everyone what we've been doing for the last 15 minutes.
Well, we have had major tech troubles, and you and I are both techies, and, it just happens.
It happens.
Sometimes it just happens.
It does. Why don't we say you're a techie? I don't know if I'd classify myself, but...
I think you are. I don't know, we'll figure out what it is, but just sometimes computers have their own mind, and they're not going to work.
Exactly. So we're going to jump in, and we're going to talk to Deb Gonzales today. And Deb, we're going to start way back at the beginning. So people are going to start tuning in to either this video or the replay. Deb is an author, and she has had a really cool journey. And there are a couple things that I really want to highlight. As she's talking, I'm going to kind of stop her and ask some clarifying questions because she's done some things right. And she's done some things that I think other authors can really learn from. And so we're going to highlight some of those things. So Deb, let's start from the very beginning. When you were a child a few years ago, just a few years ago,
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay. What were you like as a child? Did you like to read and did you like to write?
I really like to write. I had a teacher. Of course, we all have teachers in our lives that, define us. My teacher's name was Miss Bernstorff, 5th grade teacher. And I was kind of a weird kid, skinny kid, can't find your way type thing. And she really, really encouraged my writing to the point that she would let me write and then also illustrate my work, and she wouldn't let other kids do that. She was just really, really great. Now, reading, not so much until, I think maybe at that time.
Okay.
Maybe at that time, because we didn't do a lot of bedtime stories and things like that as a child. So, I have to attribute Miss Bernstorff, 5th grade, reading and writing.
I love that. So all the teachers tuning in out there, because we have had some classrooms tune into these interviews, high five, pat on the backs to those teachers.
Absolutely. Here's a little funny story about Miss Bernstorff. You'll kind of like this. Miss Bernstorff had a hearing aid, and our classroom was one of those awful classrooms. Some years you have the easy one, some years you have the hard one. This was the hard one. And sometimes she would just turn that thing off. She would just turn it off.
Good for her. Like we all want to. Some days we just want to turn it off, but
I would see her get up there and go, Yoop.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's fast forward to your adult years, and before you started writing professionally, what were you doing every day? Like, what were you doing for work?
Teaching. I have been a teacher for, well over 35 years. Taught preschool, taught elementary, taught troubled teens in high school. I was a school administrator at one time. I was an adjunct professor at one time. So I see myself as a teacher, actually, before I see myself as a writer. I think once you become a teacher, it's just part of your DNA. It's who you are.
That's awesome. Now, Deb, when did you actually, what came first? Did you start writing educational guides first, or did you publish, I know there was several books you've already published. So what came first?
Oh, the writing.
The
writing definitely came first. How we do, we write with our dreams in our hands, long before anybody reads our stuff. So I wrote, I've been seriously writing for probably about 20 years or so. Wrote a couple novels that are still in the drawer that could, stand to be revisited. They're really bad but good. And then I got the books published with the New Zealand Press, which they're early readers, educational. It was a really wonderful opportunity for that. And so really the writing became first, and then the educational guides. There's an interesting story with that. I was in a critique group in Austin, Texas, with some amazing authors. And one particular author, Jennifer Ziegler, one of her books were up for being considered for an award. And we were sitting there, and she said, but the librarians say I need a reader's guide or a discussion guide. She goes, I don't even know what that is. I said, I do. I'll figure that out. And so I did that for her about 6 years ago, and I have yet to ever not be busy.
And which is the truth, because Deb has written over 250 book guides, correct?
Yep. They're all featured on a new website I put together called Guides by Deb, and they're classified. There's all kinds. There's picture book, middle grade, YA, science, history, just all kinds of stuff.
Fantastic. And I was at an event earlier this morning, and we did start talking about guides, and you had done an author's, that Patrick Flores Scott, who's there, you had done his guides. But other media specialists were saying that is key for us in the classroom. We enjoy having those supplemental materials. We're getting some likes from people here on Facebook. They like having those supplemental materials to be able to take a book and be able to go beyond the book.
Well, yeah, they do. And sometimes, teachers are just too busy. There's just too much to go on. So lots of times I'll look at the guide. They're all aligned by standards. And so they can look at the guide and say, okay, this is academically sound. I can use that. And then they'll scan it and think, okay, this will work. And
awesome.
There's typically, graphic organizers to download and that sort of thing. So I try to make guides, the kind of guides that I wanted to use as a teacher.
Fantastic.
Easy as possible, academically sound, fun to use, and easy.
Exactly.
Easy.
So let's continue moving on your journey. Now, Deb, I call you both.
My very, very best friends call me Deb, so you go ahead and call me Deb.
All right, Miss Deb. So here's the deal. Now you have an idea for a story that is about female athletes. Tell us about that.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. The book that's coming out is called Girls with Guts, The Road to Breaking Barriers and Bashing Records. It's the history of the female athlete from the first Olympic Games until present day, encompassing the passage of Title IX. And I began writing this book actually when I was getting my MFA in writing for children and young adults from Vermont College of Fine Arts. That was such an incredible experience that I wanted to explore every medium that I possibly could. I wanted to do a middle grade. I wanted to do poetry. I had an opportunity to work with the masters in the industry, and I just wanted to learn all that I can. So in my critical thesis, I wrote a picture book, and it was the seed for the story that is being published today. My thesis, actually, when I was at MFA, was I studied the female protagonist as she's been depicted throughout history in novels. So that kind of began the whole thing, and then now this story is the history of the female athlete, and I just couldn't be more excited about it.
That's fantastic, and it's coming out in
May.
Excellent.
Coming out in May 14th, in fact.
Now, this is the point in our conversation where I want to really stop and highlight something that you have done. So, Deb, you have not been sitting around waiting for your book to come out. You have been educating yourself, you have been then educating others, and you have been truly building a platform. So can you talk a little bit about how you've been doing that and why?
It's important. I'll tell you, it's very important. I want to encourage anybody who even has the slightest dream of becoming a published author, start building your platform today. Start building it today. Connect with people online, go to events, just start it. So what I've done, since I've been in the industry a while, I've done a lot of things, but this is my very first book to come out. So I've been doing a lot of deep research, understanding what visibility, how it can become about. And so I've been studying Tim Grahl and Derek Sievers and Paul Jarvis, and a bunch of, they're not really kidlit people, but they're masters in marketing. Mm-hmm. Also working with Carol Cox and Natalie Ekdahl. So, that whole group, just really understanding how to develop visibility. And I came up with a plan, and it's kind of cool. I discovered that if an author and illustrator works on their content, develop your content, on a consistent basis, and also connect with community on a consistent basis, your visibility is going to rise. It just has to exponentially. So to me, this is a natural way of marketing. It feels comfortable to me. I'm really not one that's going to, make a billboard or something like that. I'm more one that will, sit next to you and talk to you about what's you're going on, and then, it'll turn on me. So one of the things that I've come to understand is, of course, we're doing this now video, which is very, very important. And the other is I have created a podcast. And the podcast is called the Debcast. It's Books, Buzz, and Girls with Guts. And what I'm doing is I'm talking to female athletes of all ages, 80 years old to 8 years old, I don't care, and talking about their experience. And I'm also talking to authors who have written about female athletes. And I'm having a ball. I feel like I'm inviting the most interesting people into my house and having fabulous conversations, just like you and I are right now, Maria. It's just it's been a blast.
And so this is the content piece. When people hear content, I want to explain that content can come in many different formats. So content can be a podcast. Content can be a video series like we're doing right now. Content can be, written blog posts, newsletters that you send by email. And so let's go over your formula again. It's content plus consistency plus community equals visibility. So
right.
You've also begun to create a community around individuals who are really interested in the female athlete. And so you're bringing all of those three pieces together to create visibility, to build a brand before your book is released.
Right. And it feels very natural. For instance, what I do then, say, like I did a really interesting podcast about a girl who is a barrel racer, Gabby Whitethorn. She's fascinating. She's a Native American girl who is a barrel racer and a breakaway rider, and just incredible. So when I did that podcast and then I put it on social media, then I did some research to find, rodeo people and barrel racing people and that sort of thing. And then I just and that thread is now, is exponentially getting connected. And it's natural. The girl is fascinating. She's interesting. And we talk a little bit about my book, but we really just talk about her. The thing about with Girls with Guts, it's all athletes. So it's gymnasts and skateboarders and surfers, and it's just the athletic female. So my platform can just go on forever.
It really can, because guess what? They are not taking away the female athlete.
No, in fact,
she is here to stay.
And stronger and stronger.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Do you realize that in the very first Olympic Games, when the Olympics first began, if a woman entered the arena, she could be killed?
What?
Yes.
Wow, we have come a long ways.
Yes, and then now look at the Olympics today.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. So Deb, you have all these awesome things happening, and I love sharing journeys like yours because it's really inspiring to other authors or writers who would like to be published and who are tuning in, and to not give up hope and to keep doing what you're passionate about, and to be able to put yourself out there. And I like that you say it comes in a way that feels natural and you enjoy what you're doing, because at the end of the day, we do want to find joy in the writing and the work that we're doing. So as we wrap up today, can you share with us what's ahead? So you have a book coming out. What else is ahead? Like what kind of dreams do you have for the future in your writing?
With my writing, well, I have another book that I'm working on. I honestly am having a little trouble working on finding time to get this done, and that's one of my, I do these quarterly goals, and I've learned so much from the Biz Chicks, so, I do that sort of thing. I'm going to block away an entire quarter and just really work on this one book that I've got going on. It's interesting. I'll tell you, no, I can't tell you.
No, don't tell us. You don't have to. You don't have to.
The idea is too fresh. But I have that book, and then I have another book that has come so close to publication that I'm going to have a dear friend of mine look at it, and we're going to rework that thing because it's going out.
Okay.
It's going out.
That's good. You know, I'm currently, I think I told you, I'm currently writing, and I had to say no to a lot of things this month, and I keep table everything. I say to people, I'm able to do that in December because I've blocked off October and November for writing. And it's not to say I'm not doing, you know, I'm still checking emails for work and doing the day-to-day, but I'm not taking any additional projects on because I'm committed to writing every day. And it's, what is today? October 25th. I've written for 25 straight days, approximately 1,000 words a day. I'm up to like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm up to about 36,000 words so far.
Good for you. Oh, good for you.
I'm wordy.
That's what it's going to take. And wordy is better because you can always cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, wordy is better. And I'm just taking this as it comes, but I'm going to take away I have my plan, have a quarter that, and I really struggle because I love my teacher guides, but I might have to put those on the shelf for a little bit, which I don't know if anybody will be happy about that, but I'm going to do it. We have to do it.
There's going to be a wait list for Guides by Deb.
There kind of is already, so.
A really long one.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the guides. I love them. They're so interesting. I love the people I get to work with. I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this, but I'm glad I am.
Yay! Well, and if you are tuning in, we have more people joining in. If you are tuning in and you are a Michigan author, Deb and I are putting together a holiday party, a meetup, and we would love for you to join us. So I will go ahead and put the invitation in the link to this video. So you can RSVP to either of us. We'd love to have you. We're going to be bringing a book for charity, and we're going to be networking with our local community, our local authors.
Absolutely. This has been great.
Awesome. Well, Deb, thank you for your perseverance.
Well, we did it. And, sometimes tech is like that, and that's just the way it is.
But we didn't give up on our listeners. They were ready to tune in. I think we got on at 13 minutes past 1, and we made this happen. So thank you so much.
Well, you're delightful to be with.
All right. We're happy for you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bless you.
You too.
Bye-bye.